And good evening. I'm your friend Scotty Ray as we begin another night of severe weather. At this point, we don't have any tornado warnings, but we do have our first round of a severe thunderstorm warning for several counties that we're going to get into. Then we're going to back out. We're going to look at where the thunderstorm activity is, and we also do have some tornado warnings in the state of Mississippi at this point. If we've been watching everything, we'll check your power. We've got a lot of wind out tonight, which will cause some power outages before the night is out. There's usually just no way around that. Let's go to Meridian Honda radar and pull this up for us to take a look at what we've got going on. This is the storm. Now, this could be a whole lot worse than it is, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's click on this and read what the National Weather Service has to tell us until 8:45. So we've got roughly 42 minutes remaining on this severe thunderstorm warning that is occurring right now. This includes north central Newton, also western Kemper County, and also southwestern Neshoba County until 8:45. A few moments ago, the National Weather Service indicated a severe thunderstorm located near Little Rock or 10 miles east of Prospect, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. Hazard, 60-mile-an-hour gust included with this. It will be near House and Besadia. About right now. It should reach Herbert Springs by 8:10, then on in Damascus by 8:15, and Liberty and so forth on till about 8:25. All right, let's close that out and take a closer look at what we've got here of the actual storm. Now, let's back out what we can see here. Lauderdale County, very light rain here. We got a little light shower in the West Lauderdale area, one in the southern portion of the county, just above Enterprise there, and light showers over here about Montrose and also in Newton. This came from Scott County. This is that same system that prompted a tornado warning in Smith County down here earlier. And it's made its way right up through here and crossed under. Now, again, it's a severe thunderstorm warning until 8:45. As we zoom in on this, let's look at this. This takes in just north of Decatur is where this will pick up, around Highway 15 there. And it follows 15 pretty closely there, the intersection of Union. It will go to the northeast there across Kemper County, crossing Highway 19 at the county line, and will go up just east of DeKalb, and this will cross about where the dump, the landfill is, right there on Highway 16 in between Scuba and DeKalb. It'll go north to the county line and back west over and then shimmy down. Let's turn this on and look at our locations there. It's going to cross Highway 16 due west of where Ford's Grocery is, the Dollar General there. As you'll see here, here's Tucker. It's about a half a mile due north of Tucker where this will cross here. The intersection there on Highway 15 will be right there at Neshoba Baptist is where this will cut across, and then cross 19 right there just north of Tucker, and then across 16, and then taking in Bogachita in this area here involved in this severe thunderstorm warning. Now, make no doubt that this is heavy, heavy rain involved with the storm, and we are showing that we are getting lightning strikes now with this at 7:55, which was 10 minutes ago, lightning strike just to the west of House there. As we look here, we had a hit at 7:58. That was roughly 8 minutes ago, and again, that was right just past 19 there. If you dig in here and we look at these roads of what we've got here, that's going to be Holy Rosary Indian Missionary Church, and it's going to be right there on 24 where it joins Tucker. I believe that's Cotton Road, if I'm reading that correctly. Cutoff, Newton, yeah. Tucker Cutoff Road is what that is right there, and that's just west of Highway 19 there. Now, again, this is just a severe thunderstorm warning, but it is raining cats and dogs, as the old saying goes. And it's a lot of it coming down tonight in Neshoba County as we watch this closely. Again, the intensity on the front end of this is not as bad as it once was. So we're seeing that this will eventually fade out. This doesn't look to expand into anything more than it is now than a severe thunderstorm warning. Not raining yet at Cyples Mills, but we do expect that. Now, let's back out and look at this. As I mentioned to you when we began this, that we've got more severe weather in this. Again, the National Weather Service telling us that the worst of the weather should begin around 11 tonight, and that should scroll into about 3. Now, let's back out and take a look here. All of this yellow is a tornado watch, and we are under this tornado watch until midnight. If you're watching this and anywhere that you live here in East Mississippi, they have not extended this into Alabama. That's a wind advisory there. What is this going over here to the northwest of Meridian? Yazoo City. Let's go up here. We do have tornado warnings that have been issued. Now, if you live in the area of Rolling Fork, Louise, any of these locations right in here, as it gets right in here, here's Yazoo City. This is moving right on in. tornado warnings out there as we look at this. This is going to be, let's see what the tornado warning is issued for the counties that we've got with this. A tornado warning remains in effect for Humphrey County and Sharkey County. That's two counties that are involved in this. So if you live on that western side, this is going to be moving to the Delta City around 8:20 tonight. It will reach Belzonia around 8:40 is what we're seeing here on radar. Pretty intense storm as we look at this. As we look at the shear of this on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, this is a 4.5. So it could be worse than it is. But a pretty violent storm as we watch this. Lake Providence as it comes across here. And as you see, is headed directly toward Belzonia, Mississippi. Not raining there yet, but it will be. As you look at the big picture of this, this is Greenwood, Mississippi. Now we move up the state. We've got more tornado warnings as we go in the northern part of the state. We're still watching this thunderstorm warning here, but also as we look at all of this. Now let's zoom in on this. Here's Grenada, Mississippi. Here's Drew, Mississippi. Right here is going to be Webb, Charleston. As we look at this, this will reach Pope and Cortland in the next 27 minutes. Now let's look at what we've got on the tornado warning itself. It will expire in roughly 22 minutes from now. It's a tornado warning for Tallahatchie and also southeastern Quitman counties. 8:06, radar indicated a thunderstorm that was capable of producing a tornado. So we have got about 4 counties roughly. Let's look at the shear winds of this. That's 58 mile an hour shear winds if you're up in this portion of northern Mississippi, due north right there. And let's look at the scale of this as we look at this, a 4.3, and in the heart of this, of those winds, we're still looking at 4.3s. So both of these storms are not hitting above that 7. And again, as we usually rate these, not saying that a tornado can't do what it wants to, but in most cases, as we've watched these, when you get to roughly on that scale of a 1 to 10, you get to around 7, you should really pay attention. And always keep that in mind when we're doing weather. Should we come upon a tornado warning and we dive into that on that scale of 1 to 10, when it reaches a 7, have serious concerns about it. Without a shadow of a doubt, this can touch down at any point of what we're watching up here in northern Mississippi right now. The northern part of the state right now getting a lot of this. Now, let me do this. Let's pull up and let's check, see what we've got as far as power outages. Let me do some pushings of some buttons here and take a look and then see what else if anything's been updated from the National Weather Service. Still, as we show this, let me go back over here so y'all can see what I'm seeing here. This is from the National Weather Service, and they have not changed the timelines at all. We're still looking at 11 p.m. Till 3 a.m. in this portion here. Now, the central portion here, this is going to be Philadelphia back west to the city limits of Jackson. 8 p.m. till 1 a.m. is when that is expected, and then it will eventually get to the Meridian area and exit Mississippi somewhere around 3 a.m., and it may be a little bit ahead of that schedule, but we'll stick to what the National Weather Service says, and they, again, are saying at this point it should be closer to that 3 a.m. hour. The scale, Meridian 2, Neshoba County a 3, and as you get into the Mississippi Delta, still sitting at a level 3. Now, let's go check here what we've got with power outages at this point. EMEPA 100% rolling. Nothing is out of power at this point. So that's a good indication that things have not twisted and gone any worse than they could be going right now. Now, let me double check here. As we see here, just wording that I'm catching from the severe thunderstorm warning that we're watching move across the counties. 60 mile an hour gusts are involved with this. Could have hail also if you're in Kemper County and these areas. Be on the lookout. And when we go back over the radar here in just a moment, we'll look to pull up and make sure we don't have any hail that is coming down with that. Wind threat. As we get a note here from the National Weather Service, they're watching a storm with wind threat over northern Sunflower and southeastern Neshoba County. So that's going to be that. There is no imminent threat of tornado at this time. So that's good news. That's what we were saying just a moment ago as we looked at this storm. Let's go back over here to that. That is promising as we pull this back up and look at this. It's died down and is strictly a severe thunderstorm warning at this point. Let's go back in on this and pull this up so we can look at this. Doesn't change the fact now they've moved the line of this. Union, you are out of danger now. Still a little bit raining on that eastern side of Union right now. But as you get further in here, and as you'll see here, this is starting to break up. Y'all see that? That's better. The worst of the rain, and we're going to call this right here, is this 492? Yeah, right here, Highway 492. If there's any way, if you're out tonight, if you're in Union, you're on Highway 19, wait this out. Do not travel 492. It's a very windy two-lane road that leads to Union. It would not hurt you to wait somewhere in a parking lot. Let this blow over, let this pass, because this will get out of there before long. As we all know, right in this area here on 492 this week, we had a life lost in an accident there, and we certainly don't want anything else happening like that in our community, do we? No, we don't. Let's back out here and take a look here. DeKalb, light shower activity going on in DeKalb. Let's pull this back up with locations to where you get a better feel for what's going on and where that rain picks up. Right here at this intersection of 397, when you're coming out where you can go to Kemper Lake, is where that's going to pick up. We're showing heavy showers now at Kemper Lake, and we've also got them here at Spring Hill Volunteer Fire Department right there. Look at that rain. Now, as you go on down Highway 16 and you get to about Cleveland, where you're going to bump up and see the swimming pool on there on the right, starting to rain pretty heavy. As you reach that Kemper Neshoba County line, that stretch there from that little small convenience store from there, just past Ford Store and the Dollar General, it's going to be heavy rain. And when you start getting into the city limits of Philadelphia, it will loosen up some. It won't be near as bad there. Now, as we go down south and we go down Highway 19 there, and we get to about House, and you bump on over to our friends right here as Talbert Enterprise, it's pouring rain there. Highway 491, if you're traveling that for any reason tonight, that's also a two-lane windy road that it can be a mess. So be careful on any of those roads. This is 492 and where it goes right on past here, past Talbert. As you get on into Philadelphia, it looks better. Light showers there at Tucker, all of that's passed. On the west side of Philadelphia, better out at Pearl River Resort. We got a few showers up here around the Coliseum, but nothing bad. As we go northward toward Louisville, let's take a look at what we've got here. Light showers at Noxapater. Nothing bad there at the Dollar General. Everything's getting along. The closer you get to Lake Tiocana, it's going to be a break in that rain, and then light showers after you get up near the prison. Now, out to the northwest of there, as you get near McCool, northeast of Kosciuszko, you've got a little bit heavier rain there. No warnings there. Now, let's look south of Mississippi, what's going on there. Let's turn these off so we can get, because we have people that watch from all areas of the state when it comes to weather there. As we look here, and that is a warning there for Kemper County. We have tornado warnings there. In the south part of the state of Mississippi, not a lot going on right now. All of this area here, this western side, is what we're watching. As you get on into Tennessee, it just gets kind of worse there. Wouldn't it be nice if all of this just kind of drifted away? We certainly hope so, but we're going to watch this. And again, as this expires, we will be behind the scenes all through this till this threat is gone. If you see that light come on that we have gone live, then there's something to be concerned about, and we'll be here to watch that and go live every time a threat becomes to the area. We'll stay on top of that. Let's go back over here to Rolling Fork and look at this tornado warning of what we're watching here. Still until 9 o'clock. So this has been extended a little bit there. Earlier that was going to expire at 8:30. This is going to 9 o'clock now as we look at this. And the threat of this, a 4-4 barely moved up any than it was last time. Pretty much the same threat. And again, this is just north of Louise. And as you get a little bit closer in there, this little town right there, Big Eddy Landing. Anybody know where Big Eddy is? Well, that's where the storm is right now, the eye of that, as it moves across northeasterly. And that's going to, if you'll look at this, the big picture, here's Greenwood, Mississippi, deep in the heart of the Delta is where that is. This is just crossing into Mississippi due north of Yazoo. As we look at that, look at the rain that we've got coming down in Neshoba County. Eastern Neshoba County, y'all stay put for a little while as we start to get this rain into western Kemper County. And again, it's solely right there on top of Highway 16 at the county line right now. So if you live east of there, back where 495, 493 join into 16, rain will come across there in the next little bit. It's not bad there yet, but behold, it will come there. We still have another tornado warning that is up here. Here's Water Valley, Mississippi. Here's Grenada. Here's Drew, Mississippi. And this one, the intensity seems to be a little bit worse than what we've been seeing and watching. Let's zoom in on this and here's Charleston, Mississippi. Here's Webb, Mississippi. 70-mile-an-hour shear winds involved with this. 68 there, 1 mile wide. And again, this is still holding at a 4-1 on a scale of 1 to 10, but all of this area right there. And again, normally, not every time, but when we get these swirly marks here on the radar, y'all see that, how that's just so you'll know. And I bring this stuff up when it gets closer to Lauderdale County. You'll kind of know where I'm headed with things. When we see these on radar, these shear winds, it doesn't mean that a tornado's on the ground, but it does mean that there is damage a lot of times. It's breaking trees. They're falling because of that. The wind is so heavy. And if you'll just notice there, we just saw a new tornado warning issued near Oxford, Mississippi. This is going to take in the city limits of Oxford. Any of you have kids, best friends that attend Oxford, Ole Miss, they need to be on the lookout and be weather alert as we just got this. And let's pull up and see what the National Weather Service tells us on his. This is going to run until 9 o'clock. Radar just indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Charleston. It's moving to the northeast at 55 miles an hour. Radar indicated. Now, that's good that it's radar indicated and they're not telling us that this is a storm on the ground. This is going to be nearing the areas of Oxford, Batesville, Water Valley. That's who's going to be affected by this over the next few moments. So y'all watch this. This takes in Lafayette, and of course they would have to put in a county that is real hard for me to pronounce. Yellowbusha. That's not correct, but that's pretty close. Tallahatchie and Panola County, Mississippi there are the counties that are affected by this new tornado warning that has just been issued here. As you see this headed toward the Oxford, Taylorville, Cortland, and Pope areas there in North Mississippi. Now, let's back down and take a look at, I noticed we're getting remarks here. Donna, thank you for watching there. Erica Kilgore is joining us. How's Newton? Right now, Newton is great. You got some light shower activity right there, if you'll see that on the map. Not much going on there. As we move northward of there, that eastern side of Philadelphia, it's just dumping rain on y'all. Kemper County, Donna, thank you for that. Joy Seal watching us. How are you doing there? Glad to have you there. Let's see here. Amy Butler is watching. Thank you so much. I see a bunch of y'all out there. What about Tucker, Mississippi? The threat of Tucker, let's zoom in on this so you can see Tucker. Let me turn on these locations where you can see it clearly. Tucker is on the tail end of this, all the rain, although it's still in the watch box of the severe thunderstorm warning. There's no threat to Tucker at this point. It's all moved to the east of Tucker, as you see it right here. It's moved east of there, and now it has moved just to the northeast of House. That's away from 491 there in the curve. It's moved over where it ain't no junkyard, y'all. Don't be calling it that there at Talbert. And as we get here, again, right there at the Dollar General back, we'll put this, let's zoom in on this. Here's Highway 495. This is the Dollar General as you're going to Philadelphia, and you're headed back toward DeKalb. That stretch in between there and right there where you reach Cleveland is going to be the worst. Now, it's still heavy rain as you get past 495. You'll see that coming in. Here's 493, here's 495. It lightens up a little bit, but this is moving to the east, northeast as we watch this. Now let's back this out where you can get a clearer picture. Let's put this in motion where you can see where this storm is headed. Let me go down here and hit play on this radar. And it takes it a second there. You see how this is moving to the northeast? And what this will do, this is going to move right along here, and we'll move right on toward the Macon Sugarlock area. So our friends that are watching in Noxubee County tonight, y'all be prepared. You got a little bit of a rain headed your way here in the next little bit. There's no doubt about that. Still this severe thunderstorm warning lasting until, let's double check, it's here. Wind advisory, this is, I believe, until 8:45. We still got the watch box there. Let me do a little capture of what I've got here. That did not work the way I had planned, did it? It did not. Let me capture this, and there we go. And I'll drag that out of the way for everybody to see what's going on there. Let me turn that off. I just wanted to get a shot of that to make sure I had that saved so I can go back and look at that in a little bit as storms move through the area. All right, this should be expiring here in the next little bit. Not much longer left on that. All right, let me go back here and see what the National Weather Service is telling us as I move around and look at different screens of what has happened in the last little bit. All right, severe thunderstorm warning at 8:11 Newton County. Severe thunderstorm. All right, let's see here. We're getting an update. Give me just a second here, and we'll see what that does. I just love it when updates come about. Okay, let me go back here. I'm going to have to hit refresh on this to get the latest. And again, my apologies, as this is just live. This is the way it works. And I've got to log back in to get the very latest. I love it when they do that to me. Almost got that. I'll let that. All right. Let me get my counties. Let's see here. Something to be mindful of with respect of the thunderstorms. Okay, we just got a tornado warning observed. Catastrophic hail for Humphrey, Sharkey County. A confirmed large and destructive tornado was located about 7 miles west of Midnight, Mississippi, or 12 miles northeast of Rolling Fork, moving at northeast at 50 miles an hour. So our friends that are in that area in Rolling Fork, Mississippi, say some prayers. They are saying that this is a large, destructive tornado that is there. And again, that's going to be for Humphreys and Sharkey counties. Let's see, severe thunderstorm warning for LaFleur and Sunflower County has been issued. And as we go back up here, what they were saying was on this Humphrey counties, as we read of this, these are observed tornadoes in that one. Hail of 1.5 inches in size, confirmed large and destructive tornado. Near Rolling Fork, moving at 55 miles an hour. So that is a very serious thing. Let's go back and pull up radar as we watch this tonight. And this is what they're talking about. This is a confirmed tornado now on the ground. It's what the National Weather Service is telling us as we look at this. Let's zoom in on this. Here's Rolling Fork as we come across and look at this. Shear rate is 127 miles an hour. That's what the winds are in that. That is strong. That can be destructive as we look at this. Let's see what we've got here. 0 on that one. Right there is where we're looking at that shear rate that moved across. Let's zoom in on this. And if I'm pronouncing this right, Anguilla, am I correct? How close am I? Again, this is northwest. I see a couple questions of where this is in relationship of where Neshoba County is, where Meridian is. Let's back out and take a look at this where everybody gets a clear picture. Here's Vicksburg, Mississippi. If you go up Highway 61 due north, you would find this. Rolling Fork, Yazoo, Mississippi. You've heard of that. Yazoo City right there. Here's Meridian here. It's directly to the northwest of here. It's where all of this is located. And there are tons of tornado warnings going through here. And this is a confirmed tornado in that area. If you've got friends, you've got family in there, notify them, tell them to seek their shelter now in this area near Belzona, anywhere in these areas near around Louise. And let me tap this and just see where that puts it there. That's going to be Ritchie, Mississippi, is exactly where the eye of this is at this moment. If you're in that area, you need to seek shelter immediately. Now, as we back out, let's go back here and take a look here, and let's go over and see what we've got this afternoon when it deals with hail in our area. Let's go down here to severe and take a look at hail path right here. Let me turn that on. Now, as you'll see right here across Forest, a little bit ago, there was a little bit of hail there that came up on the outskirts of Union, Mississippi. Nothing too major, but it was a little bit that came through Scott County and that extreme northwestern corner of Newton County. Now, as we go back over here to Rolling Fork, look at all that hail that they've been getting there. And this is all mixed in with that tornado that is moving through that area right now. Y'all be careful. That's 104 miles an hour shear winds involved with that as we see this. This one there, and again, the eye of that right there, the outskirt one had 104 miles an hour. This one right here, as this sits here, is 127 mile an hour shear wind rate going with this storm. And again, that is right there at Ritchie, Mississippi. This is Highway 14. As we look at this, if you're in that neighborhood, you're watching from those areas, seek shelter now and head that way. Now let's back out and let's turn off of this and let's look at our winds, because we have had some serious damaging winds come through. As I walked across back to the studio tonight, the wind was blowing extremely hard. Look at this. Look at Kemper County, that western side with all of that wind. That is very strong. Eastern Neshoba County, look at that wind that has come through. And if you're just tuning in and watching this, again, the dark green is all about how heavy the winds are tonight. We did have some out here on 16 around Pearl River. As we look at Lauderdale County, the southern portion here around Enterprise, Stonewall, and you get into these areas here, Clarkdale, a bunch of it, Stuckey's Bridge, a lot of wind there. And Hickory, look at here at the wind y'all had. It's a heap. That's a lot. We want you to be extremely careful. Now, let's turn this, let's turn off the damaging wind, and let's go back and take a look and see if anything has changed from the National Weather Service of where they said the hot spots would be for tonight. Let's turn this severe on, and let's go to our storm prediction and back out and look at this. This has changed. Earlier, we were saying that the Category 3 would be up here. So if you live in Kemper County now, the threat for tonight beginning at 11 o'clock has just increased, and also northwestern Lauderdale County. All of Newton County, for the most part, is under this. Scott County, you're under this level 3 now, as it has shifted to the east. Let me back out here and show you what we've got here. Now, we did have some level 4s earlier, but this is what we're showing right now. That's the big picture. This goes all the way to Nashville, Murfreesboro for tonight as we watch these storms move northeasterly. And a lot of times, as you can see from a bird's eye view, these tornado warnings that are out to our west there. We're not out of the woods in our area by any means. This is just kind of the beginning of what is happening for tonight. And we will be here. And again, I've stressed this several times. Should this turn into something more, we'll go live on television as well to include that. Right now, we're watching severe thunderstorm warnings. But we now have, let's turn on our locations and just show you here of where this is. Let's zoom in on this. The line is going to fall as we come into from Newton County. As you can see, Newton County now under that level 3. Only this southeastern corner is not where it joins here. As we come into Lauderdale County, this will cut across right here at I-20. Cut across and cross Highway 19 there at Owls, take in right there at the country store on out to where Northeast Lauderdale High School is, and just shy of reaching the Ralph Morgan Rodeo. But NAS, West Lauderdale, Sam Dale, all of this is now level 3 for severe weather tonight. What does that tell us? Well, it tells us that tornadic activity is very possible. Let's see here. And let's just look at how the National Weather Service describes that. Let me pull this up. Let's look at their definition so you fully understand what the National Weather Service tells us about these events as we get into the enhanced. See, this is where the line was right here before. It is now right here, taking in all of this area here. Newton County, you're in it. So that tells us that tornadoes with a few possibly strong, damaging winds of 70 miles an hour are likely, with large hail up to golf ball size hail. Now, I'm not trying to scare anybody by any means. I'm just trying to let you know what the night could hold for us. The storm, Destiny is asking which way is it headed. Right now it's moving northeasterly into Kemper County, and it will make its way through Noxubee County and then on into Alabama is where that will go. Will we have more later on? We sure will. So this won't be the last time that you see me for tonight. We'll be back on and walk you through all these storms that do occur. Let's go back to radar and pull this back up. Now, again, here's radar. There's Baca Valley. We've got all of this, as you can see through the color there, in Kemper County now. Moved out of Neshoba County, Kemper County, that watch box right there. The junior college, not really raining in Kemper County, but all of Kemper County in this level 3. That's without a doubt. And this is going to go right on in over to Kim Waste, Gainesville, Geiger, Alabama. Y'all are included this. Livingston, you're still a level 2. Doesn't mean you won't have bad weather in Livingston. Let me be clear about that. What is Clarkdale's main concern? The same as always, a level 2 and a level 3. This is so close here as you look at this. here's Clarkdale right there at Clarkdale High School. That's 15 miles through the air, not very far. A tornado does not know where the line is. Right now, there's no threat whatsoever, nothing going on. But is it right at that line to where something could? Absolutely. We'll watch all of this as this nighttime develops, and hopefully we'll wake up in a little bit and go, well, nothing happened. Wouldn't y'all love that? That's what I would like to do. But we're going to be here to watch it and walk you through that. All right, let's go back and turn this off. And let's see. Now, this is what we also have a round of severe weather coming on Sunday. Now, as you see, the dark green is what we are here now. But that is just a level 1 for Sunday. So that's good news. And basically what that means is it's going to rain really, really hard. Could have some flash flooding from time to time, but it's decreased. It's not near the storm that is going on tonight. So that's coming up on Sunday afternoon is what we'll have on that. Let's turn off our severe. Few more minutes left on that as we see here. Tornado watches until midnight. Now, let me go back and see if the National Weather Service has done any more for us, updating us of what's going on. Let's see. Silver City, if you were in that area where we were watching those tornado warnings, Silver City in that area there, the next 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to have a tornado come through that area. That's what the National Weather Service says it's in track to do. Let's see here. Jackson has issued a tornado warning. It was observed with hail. Humphreys County until 9:30. Tornado was reported over midnight or 8 miles southwest of Belzona, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. As we look here, what we're getting here is a tornado is approaching midnight. And they're wording this as it comes across as massive. So we really need to pay attention to what's happening there. Again, this is northwest of the Meridian area. Could be very bad for folks. We have not gotten any confirmations of anything that has done major damage, but we're definitely watching this closely. Let me go back up and see if there's anything. Bayou area. They're saying that tornado there around Rolling Fork in that area there is very large and remains intense, is the way they're putting that. Large and destructive tornado was located 7 miles. Yeah, they just keep going back to this tornado that is over here. And again, let's pull up radar to where you can take a look. This is it. Right there is what they're talking about. Very large and very dangerous. Here is the Meridian area, Philadelphia, Meridian, Quitman, and all these areas over here on the east side. This is the northwest side of the state. Now, as you'll see here, we've got more damage or bigger storms developing here in the northwest. Here's Water Valley, Mississippi. Let's look at some of these winds that are involved with this. 58 miles an hour. We have 91 mile an hour shear winds with this storm, and right there we have 58. That's a tornado warning that will last until 9 p.m. Now let's go back to the one that they keep saying is very violent, very dangerous here. As we look at the heart of this, we have that on a scale of about 5, shear winds of 115 miles an hour. And that's going to do in itself a lot of damage in this area here. Let's zoom in on this. Here's Silver City, and is everything that we were reading of the notes that we were getting from the National Weather Service. This is on target right here to have damage with all of these storms that are moving that direction. So if you're watching us anywhere in that northwest part of this, please seek shelter now. Get out of the way of the storm. We don't want anything happening to you, as we see here. Very, very violent storm that has developed there. All right, let's back down and go over all of this as we look here. 70 mile an hour shear winds involved with that, and this will make its path on toward this way. Here's Winona. You still have a few minutes left. Winona, you're not under a tornado warning, but it will come that way. I know we have a lot of people that watch us from the Duck Hill area. Here's Duck Hill right here. This storm is on track to go right through there. So we want y'all to be very cautious and very careful. Now let's zoom back down in here as this storm is now north of DeKalb, Highway 39. As we look at this, Highway 397. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for Kemper County that we're watching here as this comes across. Here's Sugarlock, Mississippi. We're getting some rain there at Sugarlock Lumber. It's going to be west as we follow this back. Highway 21, y'all be careful. I have driven that road many, many, many times. It's a very dangerous little road as we watch this. Let's see here. All right, nothing major there. We are showing that this is breaking up. Y'all see that? The reds are not as deep on this storm as we look at this. It's back down a lot. That is great news. And that watch box has gotten a lot better as we look at this. Let's pull this up. As we'll see right here, Kemper Lake right in this, and also we've got Cyples Mills included in this. Now, this is not going to make it all the way over to Wahalak. This is going to be due west of there through the pine trees. It will start up and then go over to where that is. And we go north of DeKalb, as we mentioned. Right there is West Kemper and also Kemper Academy. It's going to be just north of there. The threat has now gone away for the downtown city limits of DeKalb. No threat there. We still watch this area here. A lot of rain. Eddie, if y'all are out there at the mill tonight, I think y'all do a lot of picking on Friday nights. Y'all beware. It's just some heavy, heavy rain coming through there. Could be some wind involved with it as it makes its way across here. Now, as we'll see here, there's Sugarlock Lumber. There's the Dollar General right there at the railroad tracks in Sugarlock. Rain is on top of y'all now. This should be dying down here in just a little bit as we've got that. All right, let's back out. This is still nasty out here to our northwest. As you'll see here, we've got storms starting to build back here around west of Vicksburg to Lula. That's going to be over in Louisiana as we look at this. As we come up all of this area, look at that rain that is coming down. And again, this is a tornado warning. And look at the wind. Here's the fronts of these storms. Here's Water Valley. Here's Oxford, Mississippi. Now, if you're there and you've got college students anywhere around Oxford, call them, talk to them, tell them to be ready as this makes its way toward there. Let's look at Cortland. Let's look at our winds that are moving through that area. And I clicked on the wrong thing. As we look there, we got 2-mile visibility moving southeast. Woo! And right there, that is moving at about 69 miles an hour. The shear winds involved with that. This third one here is at 58. So again, this storm back down here is a lot worse than this one is. As we pop up here, we're looking at 104 miles an hour of shear winds. So let's zoom in on this and right there. Let me see what that is. That's going to be Wallace Creek is where that is. Wallace Creek, Mississippi. If you live in that area, you need to take shelter. That is a pretty serious storm that you've got there, and that is a tornado warning. Again, as we pull this up, let me get into where we can read all this. And again, this is going to take in western Lafayette County, also northern the county that I can never pronounce, Yoshabusha. Yeah, I messed that up, y'all. Y'all have to forgive me, in Panola County, Mississippi. This is going to go across George Payne State Park as we look at that. And again, my apologies for the mispronunciation of that one. Thanks for Wahalak. How are y'all doing up there, Justin? Hope everything's good in Wahalak. Been there many, many times. What's out Collinsville? Everything in Collinsville is great right now. Nothing serious as we back down. Let's come down and take a look at what else that we've got going on here. Still, this is about 20 minutes remaining on this of what we've got here. Now, let's hang on and go and check here and see, make sure we have no power outages at this point. As we update, we're still 0 with EMEPA, and EMEPA is always a great one to start with. Now, let me do this. Let's find out what has happened statewide, and that'll tell us damage-wise of what's going on in the state. Let's pull that up. And I hit the wrong button. Yeah, I just do that sometimes. That one. All right, now let me pull this up. Let's pull this up where everybody else can see this also. As we look at the state of Mississippi, we're looking at roughly 7,600 without power. This is going to tell the tale of where things are really bad. As we'll look at here, Kemper County, 0 out. Neshoba County, we have 564 people in Neshoba County without power right now. As we move west of there, about 676, 226, and right over in here where this crossed from Louisiana and Arkansas in these areas here where it's hitting hard right now in the Delta. We've got a lot of power out in there. 343 there, 1,400 people in right there in Bolivar County without power tonight. That's a bird's eye view of that. And again, Neshoba County, about 564 without power. Now, let me see if I can find, and we'll go in and look at the roads of where that power is out in Neshoba County. Let me get over here to where this is. It's going to be right there, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be Bay Springs. Central Electric is where I need to go. Let's take a look at Central Electric and see what we've got right there. Well, that's a little bit worse. That hadn't been reported, isn't it? As we zoom in on this, we're showing that now that number is up to 639 now without power in Neshoba County. Here's Philadelphia. This is where this crossed as we were watching. Do y'all remember that storm we were talking about where I talked about don't drive down Highway 492 earlier? Y'all remember that? A tree or something has fell in that area because roughly, we'll just go ahead and call that. I know it's 650 people without power there in that area. And this is Central Electric as we look at this. We got any folks watching from Neshoba County without power tonight? That's where the issue lies right now. That is the biggest that we've got in the area right there. So we'll come back and watch that as this develops tonight. All right, let's go back here. Let's go back to radar. All right, it looks like they're going to cancel. Let me go back and see what the National Weather Service is telling us now. I keep seeing this as Jackson continues a tornado observed, tornado damage threat, catastrophic, meaning that it could be bad. And this is back again to the Belzonia area where we've been watching. It's moving to the northeast at 45 miles an hour. Let's see. 1 mile southeast of Silver City, Mississippi, that's in Humphrey County, a large wedge tornado is on the ground 2 miles to my northeast. So that's where that is. Again, that's Silver City, Mississippi. If you're watching anywhere in that area tonight, seek shelter. It is on the ground, a confirmed tornado in that area. Let's see. This is the areas that are coming up from this tornado as we watch this. Mississippi 12 East, Belzonia, Horseshoe Lake, Morgan Break National Wildlife Refuge, and the Chaloup up to Kruger, if I pronounced that one correctly there. So we've got a very, very serious storm that we're watching in that area there tonight. Let's see here. All right, a storm chaser has reported that a tornado at 8:07 completely destroyed a structure, rolled over a vehicle, and severely damaged trees in the Rolling Fork area. It was relayed to the National Weather Service by Twitter. Silver City now under the gun. We're getting more reports of that also as I'm reading this. And normally I wouldn't take this screen off, but I've had to do some work and I have not gotten my fourth screen that I throw this up on to read. So my apologies for not having both up like I normally do. We'll get that straightened out in the next week or so. But we do have damage reports now in the state of Mississippi. Again, that's going to be near the Rolling Fork area of what we've got mentioned in tornadic activity. Let's pull this back up. Here we are. This is what we've been talking about. Meridian is light rain, nothing big. Light rain in Newton County, light rain in Philadelphia, and we've got moderate rain in northern Kemper County moving in Neshoba County. That has expired now. This is what is nasty. It is awful for our friends in the northwestern portion of the state. This is where we keep getting these reports. Rolling Fork here, just roughly 30 minutes ago, a tornado confirmed touchdown, destroyed a structure, and rolled a car over. There could be more damage in that area that we do not know yet. Scary, isn't it? And this just goes to show how quickly something can turn from being a normal day, we had sunshine today, to quickly becoming a problem. My, oh my. We still have 104 mile an hour shear wind. Here's Belzonia, Mississippi. This is quickly coming across here. Y'all seek shelter in these areas here. 58 on the backside of that. The leading edge of the storm is cutting across as we see this, and this will be at Carrollton, Mississippi within 26 minutes, and North Carrollton in 27 minutes as well. And that is the path there. Here's Winona, Mississippi. I'm sure that y'all are all familiar with that. Kilmichael is right there, moving northeast toward that direction, and that is 2 tornado warnings as we watch that. Now, again, right now the threat has gone from the eastern side of the state of Mississippi. Right now there is absolutely nothing going on with that. As we look here, Corinth, Mississippi, Ripley up in this area. I'm getting questions about that. Let's move up here and take a look. Right now, light rain right there. Nothing going on. Here's Ripley. Here's Corinth in this area right there. But as you can see here at Water Valley, this is going to be going directly toward that. This is a tornado warning here at Oxford. So if you're in that northern part of the state, you've probably got 45 minutes before this storm reaches you. And at this point, this is not showing any signs of backing down. So if I were here, I would go ahead and get prepared. If you're in that area and you don't have a tornado shelter to get into, call a friend. You've got time now to get from your structure to a place that would have one. So make plans on that and do that. As Kevin said, that's the same tornado that destroyed the Rolling Fork area. Very, very dangerous through there. Daniel, we appreciate you. Daniel and Beverly watching. We appreciate y'all so much. Let me go back through here. Alan Dover said a storm completely destroyed a home there in Rolling Fork. I appreciate that, Alan. As we look up, see what else I didn't get to see. What's coming through Meridian? Nothing right now. We're good. Deborah Jean, Rolling Fork. I think we pointed that out there. But if you still need to know that, right here is where we are. This is. I grabbed I grabbed the wrong screen. I can't do that. Let me back this out. Here is Meridian right here to the northwest. Here's Kosciuszko. Right out to the northwest of there is Rolling Fork, where all that's going on. Now, we are seeing that Jackson, Tennessee, due north of us. If you were to follow Highway 45 due north, you'd eventually end up in Jackson, Tennessee. We got some storms that are moving into that area there. Murfreesboro, all of this area will get this stuff tonight. It's making its way from Jackson, Tennessee toward that area. I know I have a lot of folks from the Nashville area watch also, so we want to make sure that that y'all are aware of what's going on there also. Let's see. Yeah, all right, let's back this out where everybody can see what's going on. That's a bird's eye view of what we've got tonight. You see how this is moving across there, and let's move in on here. We have some light showers back here. Here's Tallulah. Here's light showers, Hazelhurst, those areas there. Now, as we look at this, it's a little bit there of rain there on 20. It's nothing bad. Not like these booger bears we've got over here. Now, after you leave Scuba and you get past Wahalik and you cross that line where the back porch used to be there next to the old white church, y'all know where I'm talking about. As you go northward there, this stretch from Sugar Lock all the way to the Macon City limits right there where the hospital is, where Kentucky Fried Chicken is. That's going to be a pretty rough little drive. Now, there's no warnings issued there. That doesn't change the fact that 45, y'all all know, has got those, it holds water. There's no other way to word it. And it's going to waller out a little bit through there. So y'all keep in mind with that as it comes across there of what's happening tonight. If you're in Scuba headed that way, or if you're up here in Crawford, any of these areas, wait it out. You don't have to come through there just yet. Wait a little while, give it about 30 minutes, and that's going to calm down. It will be a lot better. Now, again, we've got no threats to the immediate area right now. We will continue to watch the threats as it is and around the area. And let's keep this big radar up where y'all can see what's happening right now. As we watch this is the state of Mississippi. Again, as we talked about those areas there in northern Mississippi, if you're there, don't wait around, do something about that. Now, let me see. Let's see. Nationwide eventually. I'd have to get me a little backup there. I'm just about needing a cup of coffee as it is now. I love coffee. Does anybody else do it? Makes the world go round. As we look here, Greenville, Mississippi. If you've ever been to Greenville in these areas there, we're starting to show that some thunderstorm activity coming in from Louisiana right through that area there. My heart goes out to these folks right through here. I had another question about, is Rolling Fork close to Vicksburg? Grace, here is Vicksburg right here. If you go due north, follow Highway 61 up through here, it's going to take you right to where this stuff is. Due north of there, you've heard everybody talk about Yazoo, Mississippi. There it is. Due north of there is where we've got our issues. We do not know how many people are hurt, damaged. We don't have any of that information at this point. Let me go back and just see if there's any new notes. Let's see. Sunflower County is going to get a severe thunderstorm warning. They are saying that that where that tornado is starting to taper down some. Still a high chance of a tornado, but they're saying that some of the organization of it is not as strong as it was. Still a tornado, and we're talking the Rolling Fork areas. It goes across there, as we've been watching that. Let's see. Nothing new in those areas there. That Silver City and all of that is where we had all of that, where it was on the ground a little bit earlier. No updates, nothing changed on any of that at the moment. Demopolis. Oh, I got a beautiful picture sent in from Demopolis a little bit ago. Brooke White, thank you for sending that in. We'll get that posted as things calm down a little bit, where we enjoy some great pictures there. How are you doing, Cheryl? Cheryl Jones joining us. Appreciate that. Let's look at this again and double check power outages in our area. Let's pull this up where you can see this. We do have 14 people now without power. As we look at this, north of Lauderdale, headed toward Kemper County. Here's Portable, Mississippi. Anybody in Kemper County now without power watching? Right there. And most likely, again, this is going to be a tree of some sort. Here's Brown Road. This is Highway 45. There's Brown Road, of where that is. You folks down that road there, without a little bit of a power there. It's 14 of you right there in that area. They hope to have that fixed before long. This is where you're coming out of Lauderdale, Mississippi. This is Old Highway 45 on the right there, as you'll look at this. Here's NAS Meridian. Y'all all know that gate that's on the left after you pass CEFCO, that back way that you can go into NAS Meridian right there. Due north of there, here's Portable. This is getting real close to 2 Mile Bottom is where all of this is. Endendale, those areas there. A little bit of a power outage there. EMEPA will be making a run to get that fixed. They'll have crews out and about. And again, all of this is dealing with wind damage as it blows around. Sherry says she has power on 495 South. That's great. Don says Rolling Fork, Mississippi just got destroyed by a tornado. It's still on the ground. They're begging for any available trained fire and search and rescue or EMS to help the search for trapped survivors. That is serious what Don is telling us as we've watched this over and over. Let's go back to radar and pull this up where y'all can see this. Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Y'all send out some prayers for those folks that are in that area there. Rolling Fork sits right there as it is moved east of Rolling Fork, and it's still a tornado warning there. As the National Weather Service, as I was reading that just a moment ago, they had not backed down from taking the tornado down. The rotation was not as strong as it was, but still, and I know it's a double wording I'm saying there, but it's still strong, but not as bad as it was. Where's that tornado? It is right here. That is northwest of Meridian, Mississippi. Due north of Jackson, Mississippi is where that's going to be. Right there. Here's Vicksburg. Here's Jackson. Here's where the tornado is. Rolling Fork has been hit, and hit hard from what we're gathering from everybody. Don just put a link up, and we do appreciate that as there. And I wish it said that I wish my pointer could be larger, but I can't change it for some reason. With the system that I buy, they give me this little bitty doodaddy here, and when you get right on it, he changes to a hand. And I wish I could fix that, but they didn't help. I've argued with them a lot of times. As much as they charge for this, it should have a lot of other little gadgets that I would like to have, but they didn't listen to me. They just told me to send a check, and we'll leave it on for you. As we look at this new Albany area, we've got a tornado warning there. Blue Springs, Pontotoc, Mississippi is what is a town that you may recognize. Houston, Mississippi, due north of there in these areas here. Here's Oxford, Mississippi. If you've got kids that go to school there, you need to be in touch with them and tell them to seek shelter. There's a tornado warning all in this area here. Now, as we look at this, as we were talking about the question about Ripley, Mississippi just a little bit ago, this is headed in that direction. It is no warning there for you yet. Can this be reissued? I think it will be at this point. Ruthie, how are you doing? Glad to see you watching us there. As Jamie says, she is praying for all of those affected by that. As Don is paying attention to what is going on there, says in Rolling Fork, got destroyed. It's still on the ground. They're begging for available search and rescue there. There's the feed that you can check that out. And Ruthie says she's got family there in Rolling Fork. Please let us know in the comments when you hear from them that they're okay. We like to keep up with one another. This is what we're watching about where they're needing people to help in this area there. Now, before someone need to get in touch and talk to the emergency management team there, I'm sure that our emergency, Odie and the gang from here in Meridian, can contact them and find out what their needs are. When we get that, we will post that because we've dealt with that in the past of people showing up and just not knowing what they're looking for. It's got to be organized, and it will run through the EME, the emergency management team there in the Rolling Fork area. They will need that. I hope this is all that we will get tonight. No more touchdowns. Wouldn't that be wonderful? This just goes away, but we will watch this and see what happens. Now, let's go back and see what Jackson, if they change this any from what Jackson is telling us. Let's put this here. Let's refresh this. This was what they put out. Still, they've got that 11-2, 11-3, rather. No changes on that. Let's see here. Power outages. Bay Springs area, we've got a little bit of power outage there. About 53, 54 people here around Florence, Bay Springs, Collins, Mississippi. I know we have a lot of viewers in that area also. And thank you, Ruthie. We would love to hear about that. Lauderdale is great right now. No problems there. That's what we've got here. This shows you where Meridian is. Here's Jackson in this area here without power also. Let's see if I've gotten any more updates. Nothing there. All right, we just got this storm report put in from Rolling Fork. That is Sharkey County where all this was going on. Reports that a tornado at roughly 8:09 p.m. Had individuals trapped inside the Family Dollar in Rolling Fork after a tornado moved through the town. At least one injury there at the Family Dollar. That's what we know at this point as we're glancing over these notes that are being sent from Jackson. Issaquah County, Mississippi. We're right at 8 o'clock. Law enforcement did see a tornado near Willett Road. Again, that's Issaquah County. As we're looking back at 8:57, just a moment ago, a tornado warning, Humphrey County. Nothing new in that area there. All right. As we look at what the National Weather Service is telling us, within the next 5 minutes, the tornado will be crossing out of the Delta into the more hilly terrain of northern Holmes County. Oconee and Black Hawk area are the next communities downstreams. As we talk about this goes across the Delta, it's flat. It's moving across and getting out of that flat area on into more hilly country. And, of course, on flat ground, it moves quickly. Don was telling us there that money has been raised, about $50,000 so far in that area to help folks. That's good news. I'm glad for that. Let's pull radar back up where you can see what's happening across the state of Mississippi as we watch this tonight. We do have still two tornado warnings. This is where as you'll see that swirly. Y'all see that right there? That's where the tornado hit. A tornado was seen near Willett Road. That's what I just read just a moment ago, that area there. Let's move in here. Silver City, tornadic activity also there as we pull up this report. It's not wanting to click on it just right. Not going to give me the storm report for whatever reason off of that one. Sometimes it just acts that way. This area here, and again, here's Winona. Here's North Carrollton. This is in line for this tornado to come right on through this area. This is the leading edge of it. Still, we've got 104-mile-an-hour shear winds with this tornado. Here's one of them here as we look at this in the center of this storm. We're looking at 81 miles an hour here. So 104 on the backside. The leading edge is 81 miles an hour if you're anywhere in there. And this is going to be coming across right here. It's 49 east is where that major highway is as we look at this. Strong, strong. And here's Winona as we look at this. And again, this is the path that it's going to take as it leaves here and goes this direction. Here's Duck Hill. Now let's go back up here. And as we were talking about what's going on in Ripley, that's been asked. See that line already pointing to Ripley in that area there? It should be about 30 minutes before it reaches there. We'll see if the National Weather Service holds on to this tornado warning as it goes in that direction. Dorothy, how are you tonight? Glad to see you joining us. Thank you so much. Grace Yolanda, thank you. Windy in southern Kemper County. Nothing's happening in that direction right now, so you're good in Kemper County. Doesn't mean that something else later on can happen, but right now you're perfect. Nothing to worry about. We watched this Holly Springs area all the way into Tennessee. Look at this here. Now, no warnings. There's some thunderstorm warnings for our friends up in Tennessee, but nothing that is a tornado warning like Mississippi. And if you'll remember, when we first started talking about this, two days ago, it was this area right here to Jackson that they were saying from Jackson right up through here that would be the worst. And that is coming true tonight. That is where that level 4 was. And I say all of this of when we talk about this, always be prepared for what's coming. When this stuff is given out from the National Weather Service, take it seriously. There's a lot of folks that are hurting tonight in that area there without anything now. You can have everything that you own, doesn't matter how rich, how poor, whatever you are, taken away from you in the blink of an eye. Be careful, be prepared for these. And again, I know when we were at the school, and let me say this, we had a chance to go out to West Lauderdale the other night. We're going to show this Monday on the morning show. We talked to the kids about what to do, and they had listened before and talked about wearing helmets. But you know, they made cards for us coming to talk to them, and it's just tons of them. Listen to your kids; they're good. Teach them young about what to do in weather like this. Not to be scared, but to be informed of what to do. And that's what we talk to them about. Not to scare them, but what do you do when a storm breaks out? That's what it's all about. Shibuda and DeSoto, people are wanting to know. Here it is right down here. Absolutely nothing going on. But you are under a tornado watch until midnight. Now, this may pass and not do anything. We got some storms, if you'll see here, starting to develop in these areas. Now, the worst of this stuff is right here. Hopefully, this won't do any major developing and we'll just kind of fade away. That's what we'd like for it to happen. We'll be here regardless of what it does to let you know, and we'll go back live when that situation becomes a threat. I'm going to stay with this just a little bit longer as we watch these storms to see just a little bit longer here of what's going on with the storm, as we do have numerous reports of people that have been struck by a tornado there. So far, the only thing that I know of is one injury. Now, again, they're just now starting to get into the area and to go through and search for people. That's all we know at this point. And we will, Deanna, let you know anything should threaten the Meridian area. We'll go live to tell you about it, as always. Let's see here. Let's look at Let's go back here. And look at this hail path of what we've got going on now, of what's going on in that direction. And there is hail back there. Nothing in our immediate area of the East Mississippi area, but we do have that Belzoni area, Rolling Fork, where the tornado hit. Look at all of that. Webb, Mississippi, all up through here. Lots and lots of hail that has come through that area. Myrtle, Ripley, Mississippi. And again, you see these arrows. I want y'all to pay attention if you're up in the Ripley area there in northern Mississippi as this storm is making its way. Here's Oxford. Oxford, all around Oxford. Look at the lightning up in this area there. That struck 3 minutes ago. That hit at 8:54. Let's see what we got there. That just struck. And again, what you see here on this radar, all of these yellow, this is where it actually came in contact with something on the ground. It struck. Debbie and I were talking the other day, and she heard a large strike. I pulled up radar, and it was about 2 miles from her house, right out near the airport here in the Meridian area. Now, that stuff's loud. It will scare you from time to time when lightning goes off, and I know y'all know that at some point in your life that has happened to you. That's what we have at this point. Again, Corinth, Mississippi, Ripley, Mississippi. The rain is just to the west of you, making its way there. We have tornado warnings out until 9:30. That's about 22 minutes remaining on that, and I do expect that to go right on across there. It's not slacking up any. Now, this is the system. Now, this has all been radar indicated, this one up here. This is the system that has been on the ground, and it's a lot still going on there now. 92-mile-an-hour shear winds. It's 91.94. We're going to call that 92. That's a lot of wind. Right in this area here, we're 92 miles an hour there. It's going to be at Carrollton in 28 minutes. Shady Grove within 18 minutes. Seven Pines, you'll have the storm in 10 minutes. Let's look here what we've got. 104-mile-an-hour shear winds with this storm. And that is headed directly toward Winona as we look at that mark as it comes across here. Here's Duck Hill. Here's Winona. Here's North Carrollton. Here's Vaden, Mississippi. French Camp, Mississippi is due west of there as we watch that. Here's Durant, Mississippi, Lexington. And again, as they were pointing out from the National Weather Service, this is leaving that flat ground here in the Delta and moving off to the northeast where it's going to get some hills in here. And it'll slow it down a little bit when it gets to those hills. When it's on flat ground, it can really make some time across there. Let's see here. Jamie, thank you for watching. We appreciate that. Glancing over here, no new comments. There are questions that I see. Hey, Joyce, how are you doing? Good to see you up and at 'em tonight there. We're picking up more showers. And again, this is right here, if you're looking at the map. Let's look here. Here's Jackson, Mississippi. Here's where we took a hit in Mississippi. Yazoo, Mississippi, right there. Here's Vicksburg due north of there. And as you'll see here, this stuff coming in from Jones. Not horrible at this point. It's not a big hard line. Can it develop into something more? It sure could. Now let's go back up here to Noxubee County where this has moved over. Highway 14, Mahana Bridge area, Pickensville, Alabama. Y'all are getting ready to get a pretty good shower there. All right, it's already raining on you. I fibbed on that, didn't I? It's already there. Pickensville, Alabama. Y'all be careful if you're in that area. Way back there to the west is that storm there. This tornado warning also runs until 9:30, which is now 19 minutes remaining on that tornado warning as we look at that. Now, again, we have roughly 3 hours remaining on the tornado warning. Tornado watch. Let me back up on that tornado watch for the area. This does include Clark County, our friends in Jasper County, as we move across to Smith County, northward into Scott. All of those areas are a part of this. Neshoba County, everything looks good there. Nothing major to worry about. My puppy dog followed me up here is when I had to. She was trying to talk to me there for a moment there. All right, here's what we've got. You can look at that line as it leaves the state of Mississippi as it goes right on up into here. Paducah. That's going to be the Tennessee line up here as we look across there. All right, we nothing major there. We had multiple trees down near Panola off of Mississippi 28. That's what we've got there. And let me make sure. Let's go back here and let me check and see if I've gotten any more updates that are sent in. Holmes County, Mississippi. Let's talk about this. The National Weather Service is a tornado damage threat, and they're calling it a considerable threat. Hail involved with this. Carroll, Holmes County, Mississippi, until 9:30. At 9:10, which was 2 minutes ago, radar confirmed a large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Black Hawk, moving northeast at 55 miles an hour. Now we're getting the words from Rolling Fork that a catastrophic damage is in and around Rolling Fork, Mississippi tonight. That's the first time I've seen that word mentioned, catastrophic, when it comes to Rolling Fork. Mandy, everything good in Kemper County right now. You're safe right now. Out to our west is what we're watching that. And I'm going to spell this because I'm probably going to mispronounce the name of this town. Tchula, Tchula, Mississippi. That's in Holmes County. It says that trees are down, still assessing the damage there also. But catastrophic is being mentioned over and over and over with Rolling Fork area. As soon as we have more information on that, we will pass that along. All right, let's pull back up radar where everybody can take a look here and see what I see as we look at radar here tonight. Kemper County, great, nothing going on. In Lauderdale, a little bit of a shower over there west of us there, north of Forest, Mississippi. Everything still lies to our northwest, north of Durant, right there, Belzonia, Mississippi. 58-mile-an-hour shear winds with that. We do have, and this is that area there to where they just made the statement that this is a very large and dangerous tornado that is going that direction. Right there is what we're looking at. It will be there within 9 minutes. Let's zoom in on this and take a look at this. This is going to be Mississippi 17 in that area as it comes across. It's going to split right there, as we see. It's going to be County Road 23. That's going to be cutting across there at Chute Cemetery. So if you're in that area there near Chute Cemetery, be on the lookout. Bad weather headed your way. Here's Black Hawk Road, and this is it, the eye of this, what the National Weather Service is telling us right here, that is very dangerous in approaching this area. Cutting across there, and if we follow this line, and let's do that. You follow this line, you back that out. Right there, Winona, Mississippi, is where that is headed after it passes through that area. So North Carrollton, and if y'all notice, this has not been a fast after it got here. This has just been kind of sitting there, slowly making its way off of there. Boy, Mary says she pronounces it Tshue, and that's probably right, Tshue. Crandall area, y'all are all good. Destiny, nothing to worry about there in Clark County right now. We still have a threat until 3 a.m. We have a tornado watch out until midnight is what we're watching on all of this. We have 14 minutes remaining on that tornado warning that is there. Now, I'm going to monitor all of this. If this becomes another threat for us, we'll go back live to let you know what is going on. We'll watch this carefully. Let's go back up and see what we've got power outages in the area here while we're still here. Let's update this. Again, this was Kemper County. Still 14 people. They're probably trying to track that down to where that storm is. Let's go here and take a look at the state of Mississippi. Let's refresh this. We now have 11,462 Mississippians without power now. And as you'll see, this gets bigger and bigger that you get on this west side. This is where these tornadoes have been moving through. Still 564. I think that they're a little behind on that as we looked at that. The up-to-date was going to be around 640 people, right under 650 without power. We get in here 1,800 in Sharkey County without power. Humphreys County around 1,500. Some of the worst hit that we've got there, 200 in Yazoo. Sunflower County, 600 people without power. Washington County, Mississippi, 1,000 people without power. A few more than that, but that's a good round number of what we've got here. And as we get into Lafayette, about 56 people and 700 people in Tunica County without power tonight. Ooh, boy, oh boy. Let's go back here and let's see what we've got. We still got that. Let's refresh this and see if anything has been done by Central Electric for Neshoba County, and it has been. As we look at this, down to, let's zoom in on this. They've been to work. About 4 without power there around Union. So they have put roughly about 600 to 700 people back on and taking care of their power, which is great news. Glad of that. Let me see what else we have coming in. Al Davis texted me and said about North Mississippi getting pounded at this point. It is. It is really extremely bad in those areas right now. Let's go back over. All right, let's pull radar back up now. There's nothing on radar at this point that is developing that is bad to the area. Not to say that it cannot develop a little bit later. Again, we'll be behind the scenes tonight watching all this as this does come about. We hope that it just kind of fades away. We're in looking good right now. We do have these little bit of showers here, but this still a mess. Most of the damage, again, that we know of is right here. And let's do this where you can see this. Let's go here and turn this off for just a second. Now, as we're looking at all these boxes, this gives you an idea of what's happening without radar. The red boxes are tornado warnings in Mississippi right now. And as you'll see here, you've got 1, 2, 3. It's easier to see this way with the rain taken out of that. Right here is where the tornado touched down, all right through here. And we're hearing that this is catastrophic. Does that mean that we've got something pretty bad here too? We know that something touched down here also. It comes across right here. Winds with that have died down to 70 miles an hour on that one. On this edge, we've got 69, so the winds are looking better than they were. Let's get on the front edge of this and see what that has to offer. Front edge of this, 104 miles an hour. That is headed directly toward Winona, Mississippi. And then we have 104 also with this second storm. It's a double punch there. One's going to go directly toward the city, and one will go just barely north of the city limits as we look at that. North Carrollton, y'all are all in this. At the end of this line is from right here to right there is a 30-minute window. If you're watching Duck Hill, you are under the gun. You've got some serious weather coming across there. Robin says Newton County, really warm and very windy right now. The wind has been blowing something ferocious out back. It has been. All right, let's close that. Let's go up here and take a look here so we can see this direction. Now, New Albany. Now we have a severe thunderstorm warning here. This is not a tornado warning, thank heavens, yet. Hopefully this is going to die down. But as we zoom in on this, all of this, here's Ripley, right up to the city limits, over to Corinth, under a severe thunderstorm warning there. You can see it a little bit better in that area there. Here's New Albany. That's going to be Highway 22. Let's look at that. Shear winds of 70 miles an hour. We got some shear winds back here. That's 81 miles an hour right there that we're looking at. Cuts across the county. Y'all be careful in these areas. Flash flood warning right here, where there's been a lot of rain that came down that Oxford area there, is that tornado warning passed through that area there. And if I am not mistaken, we didn't have that a second ago, did we? That's just been issued until 10:15. Let's look here. Eastern Carroll County, Webster County, and Montgomery County, Mississippi, now under a tornado warning until 10:15. Major, major, major in that area there. Finding out that Edinburgh, a little windy in that area. Right along in there, Edinburgh should be. Isn't that about right? If I'm glancing correctly, it is. Let's turn back on radar. And that's what we have going on in the state of Mississippi tonight. Again, we will follow this. We will come back live when this becomes another threat to the area. We'll go back live as we watch this in other parts of the state. When we start getting more damage reports, we'll pass that along to you as well. We do appreciate each and every one of you watching. And a big thank you to all the sponsors that make this happen for us. We appreciate that more than anyone can know. It helps us stay on the cutting edge of what's happening. God bless y'all, and pray for our neighbors in Rolling Fork, Mississippi. They're going to need that. As we find out more about this, we will pass along all the information that we do have with this. God bless, and we'll be back. We'll be behind the scenes watching it for you. It's the Scotty Ray Report. Thank y'all.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: